with the 2014, they said he rented a Lexus and it was a drive-by. Like,
oh yeah, had to shut off the Breakfast Club to share this question. You know, I'm a Gemini, right? And I always see like two sides to an issue. I always think and question myself before I make decisions. I got my Gemini-ness under control, but I was asked a question and I figured let me blog about it because we got a lot of haters out here. You know, I'm on my 6th Kickstarter project, and not everybody's Kickstarters succeed. Mine is running slow. Maybe got about 12, 13 days left, but I stay optimistic. And so today on the Sci-Fi Express Lane, I want to talk about, do Black people support Black projects, ideas, businesses, sheesh, like the whole gamut. Because, you know, when the person came at me, you know, it was like, yo, Black people don't support, you know, Black projects. They talk all that junk, you know, they complain, and they don't do it. And I have to disagree. You know, not only do I have to disagree because I am doing what do you call it, producing my own project out there for crowdfunding, which is, you know, for everybody to support, you know, not just for Black people, but for everybody to support. I do expect for Black people to be part of the people that support projects. I don't know how people think that. You know, there's some people that are just so negative that it's ridiculous, you know. Granted, we're not perfect, and I'm not saying by any means that Black people are perfect, but dang, we do support our own. We do. So how do you think, all these things, like from the very beginning, Brother Man, his comic book made $1 million back in the 90s, early 90s or late 80s. It wasn't necessarily white people supporting him. You know, hip hop, the industry, you know, just going on. Like, okay, so people may say, okay, Black people don't read. What the heck? What are you talking about? We got Black comic book conventions. Black readers made a whole literary genre their own. Dudes was selling books. I had a guy tell me he went to the Essence Book Fest and sold 1,000 books at $1,000 worth of books at the airport for Essence Music Fest to Black people coming in town for the festival. He was right there at the airport, say, yo, I got a good book for you. He was presenting it and people bought it. What are you talking about? Street lit. They sell it on the streets in New York, or they did in the 90s and the early 2000s because they couldn't get it in stores. That's reality. We ain't making that up. I'm trying to think of other good examples. I mean, I've got, you know, 5 successful Kickstarter campaigns. Black people support Kickstarter. Black people support other Black people's ideas. You know, Ekbach is going on like 15 years or something like that. I know it's past 10 years, right? It's going on that many years of Black comic book conventions, the oldest one, right? We've got at least 5 or 6 others. Motor City, ChemFest, I forgot the one in Atlanta, right? I did one down here in Miami. We got what's the other one? Urban Fest. There's a bunch of them, you know. And then we got Black Comics Day, California. San Diego, and in Harlem. So look, and they both bring out tons. And then they're unapologetic at it being Black creators' creations held in Black communities. Atlanta, Newark, Harlem. You understand? These aren't for jokes. Detroit. You understand? So we come out and we support, but I get it. A lot of people think, you know, Black people have to be told to support We have support black business, every support black something, so buy black is campaigns for it. And I get it. I get that we have those things, and we have to be rallied to unity. And I get that, right? I also get that there's some cats that oversell, right? They will say, buy this because it's black, right? You see memes of people saying, some girl and her daughter did not come to their table for comic books because she just didn't want to buy something black. And I get the negative hate, right? I've seen that happen. Sometimes that's even happened to me. But I've also, on the flip side, had people come to my table and just buy it because it's black. Now, mind you, I'm down with that, right? Because a sale is a sale, right? I guess, but I think because if they're buying something because it's black, I don't have a problem with it because, one, the story does have black elements in it. And if they do like black elements, they're buying it for something in the story, right? If they're buying it because it's Jeff Carroll, hey, it's a Jeff Carroll story. So it's going to have my elements, my wit. My wit's probably been the same since I was in elementary school. You could talk to my friends. They'll say, oh, this guy's crazy. From day one. You could talk to my students right now. Oh, this teacher's crazy, right? So that's an element. Yeah, you might like superheroes. You might like the title. You might like the character design. I don't care what the reason is why you're buying it, right? Yes, buy it. But people do buy because things are black, and black people are some of the main people that buy things because they're black. Now, mind you, I got white people and other cultures that do buy black characters because they're black. Some people just buy what they like, and that's cool. I'm pretty much like that, mostly because I'm older than the plethora of black selections. So I'm reading right now Philadelphia, and which is a black story, and Blade Runner. This is a mainstream story. It's a white story, right? Or it's not a black story. I don't know how to say it. But I'm reading Blade Runner because I like I like the storyline, But there's some people that buy because it's a black character, it's black stories. I do, but I don't buy everything that's black, because sometimes it's not as interesting to me as other storylines are. I can't really tell you. I know I don't buy everything that's black, right? If it looks, I wouldn't say corny, but yeah, there's black stories that probably do look corny. My stories may look corny to somebody, I don't know. The goal is not to make them look corny, but there's something, I like a certain type. I rarely read like superhero stories. I got this Batman series that I just ordered from the comic book store. He's fighting a werewolf, and the werewolf element is what attracted me to the story. And I like post-apocalypse. I like the genres in science fiction, in comics. I read a lot of graphic novels, and they're not always, black comic books are not always in those subgenres as much as they are in the superhero subgenre. And a lot of them are focused towards kids, and I might buy them, but I may buy them and give them to somebody. I'm not buying them for me to necessarily read, So yeah, that's the challenge, for me. But I'm real about it, and I do know that there's black people that do that. I don't really know anybody black who doesn't read black character stories. I think you would have to have some type of mental problem to kind of just be like, yo, I like every type of book except for black books. In terms of black businesses, I'm black, right? Every business that I owned was pretty much a black business. I don't even know how to say pretty much. It was. I've started partnerships with with other people, but not businesses, and I can get some of those businesses are not necessarily, you're printing t-shirts, are you buying the black t-shirts from somebody? You're just manufacturing, you're making them, and I get that. But I had a black agency where I represented comedians and other artists. A lot of them were black, and kind of it was started because the black comedians felt disenfranchised from some of the existing agencies, and that's reality. So of course I signed them and represented them, but it wasn't just them, and it was partly because of the subgenres that were emerging. We heard urban comedy that was not geared towards the mainstream. They didn't talk about things like, when you hear Martin Lawrence, he's not trying to cater to the mainstream audience. He's bringing you into his world, and he took his world on stage. And those were the artists that I represented, who did those things. So even if they weren't black, right? If it was Steve Coleman, if it was A.G. White, if it was Rich Voss, these are stand-up comedians and poets. They could rock a black room because that's where they came out of. They came out and they were performing there. I represented break dancers, Full Circle, my man Quick Step and Rockefeller, right? And his wife Rockefeller. Because that's our culture. My company is called Hip Hop Comics and Flicks. My first company is called Red, Black, and Green Promotions. And nowhere in that is, black only, black and brown, urban culture. All those different things are within the realm of things that I represented. And, it was black people, right? We did whole black college tours. We did a lot of our work through black student unions. I was a black student union president. So we did our work through black student groups. And then a lot of students that were black that were on these boards, they understood and they worked with us. Not only because we were black, but because we had good talent. So from day one, out of college, I was supported by black people. Now, of course, not only, I respect businesses that may have a only black business model. God bless you if that's what you do. But shoot, even black colleges don't only work, want only black students, 99%, but they still are open to everybody, mostly because they get funding, but they're geared towards helping and developing young, disenfranchised black minds. So I don't know. I don't even know if I'm making a good argument, because I think people that think that black people don't support black products are probably like flat earthers, people that you can't change their mind. They're set in their ways. And to me, it's kind of sad, especially if they are black people themselves. If a white person or Asian person says that, then they just ignorant, right? Or they just don't, they don't know. But like if a black person says it, this is even more than just ignorant. They feel that, they feel probably betrayed by their people. I can't imagine how that feels to not think black people will support you. That has to feel really lonely, to feel that, by black, or if I do this, black people ain't gonna support me. I've had, friends whose projects have failed. I pulled a project down off of Kickstarter because I thought it wasn't gonna make its budget, and it made about $1,400. Shoot, it made more than what my goal is for this particular Kickstarter. But I will say this: I'm definitely down for the encouragement of black consumers to support black business. I think you have to continue on that. Not that I think people will forget. It's like voting, we need extra support, basically, because as a black product, you have 16% of the population that is black, and mainstream people still buy probably under racial lines. I'm not sure, but I do believe that that 16% of the United States population, was 13%, whether you want to call include people of color, whatever it is, affects the bottom line of black products, businesses, and stories, and you name it. So for me, I think, I'll have no problem with encouraging people to support a product because it's black. I would say support black comics, support indie products, support black businesses, and when I say support, give them an extra look. Don't just go buy them for no reason. Look at my stories. See if you like it, but give us a look, an extra look. Make go out of your way to look at this black product. It's a black soap. It's a black grocery store. Go look at it. You know what I'm saying? And then decide. But if you give it that extra look, more than likely you'll buy it. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. But I do believe black people support black businesses, support my Kickstarter, support anything. But check this, right? Support my video. Like, share, subscribe, and of course comment, because I know we love to talk. All of these topics come from some conversation I had. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.